never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
So, Oman Penyini eye nabedi achiri Bawumia, Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia ne to atwi. MPP amanyuko na nkasa to atwi. Ene abrewa wanya bedru fie. Nyame adom ene Oman Penyini abedi achiri ayi MPP foto. Enti wo bibiara wo ye Ghana ni a na opese uhuno kura ewum se hwan ena sebio odi free SHS buy no Oman Penyini abedi achiri na nkasa numutom ene wato na numutom se free SHS no was really started by the NDC. Free SHS no was really started by the NDC. No more no ebe ye na at once, but NDC started progressively. In fact, Mahama nyankopon odaso eye adwuma. Odaso eguso a oye na nwanwa adwuma. Hallelujah. 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 Mahama nyankopon usiana bonsaman akatensi yisu ye da wasi you. Oye adwuma nkasa. Me pase ye ko na yekutie information no said ye Kevin Taylor or Loud Silence TV so eka ensamo no ebie mu ekotwe video no eba ya ene abeda on record say Oman Penyini Bawumia nkasa jiatum say free SHS was started by John Dramani Mahama any yemami Jane Nana Opoku Agyeman, the next president and vice president of the Republic of Ghana on 7th January 2025. Hallelujah. Hi, PENDREAM TV. Make subscribe to the channel. Now I like video we na afoso say ye kasa no a pato wa adwenkyere bia na wo to comment section no ase me pato yenko na yenkuti information no na hwe video a ye bebo a kire afri Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia na nkasa nanum yenko
10 minutes. Besides, Mr. Peep, I can do this in 10 minutes. Yeah. So now there's this conversation about a year MPP4 lying to Ghanaians about a year free SHS NDC4. John Mahama say NDC ba power or free SHS is a lie. Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman will be a fire or say she is still waiting for one person in Ghana to come with evidence, audio, video, whatever, print. John Mahama ejina bibia o Ghana ka say a free SHS no NDC ba power or mubetwem. It's simple. Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman say she is waiting for NPP Nibia our video evidence, our audio evidence, print, whatever. Na John Mahama ejina platform bia so ebie na no kase. Se NDC ba power omu betwa free SHS mu. Maka kire Ghana for MPP for many message, omu ni plans bia mamo. MPP for omu ya true. Now, she has made this statement and we are still waiting. We are waiting for the NPP. Say abobi na ma fa de say running mate to say nipa say because ya teda you see ye de aponche kra ye de MPP kale sharp ponche kra na ye running mate nipa beto ama no nti say aponche na ma fa de say running mate to say nipa na your flag bearer. We are still waiting for that animal in MPP colors to come out with evidence say John Mahama jina ha ejina ha eka say free SHS no oba obetwem. We are still waiting because your person Ghana for who say obi twatra momme antwi nipa ne mra bonten ne embema Ghana for who say nipa de twatro say nipa ne ka bibia ti John Mahama ka your person NDC for MPP for ne ba bonten with facts to tell us say free SHS no ampa John Mahama jina ha John Mahama kan wa ha adase no kan because atro no ene de abeduru a and the ejimi for a person be running mate ejimi for person be president. Atro into the end the MPP mu enyansa for wom and so a Jimmy for na yes so almost running mate and the president because the people who are willing to tell the truth no MPP for them pay they be almost pe nyan na ye de flag na atwera omo ho no omo na omo pe so Nana Opoku Agyeman has put it out there. They see our credibility chain or no offer audio or video embra be kan kire Ghana for say John Mahama ejina simpie ni ejina atakwa ejina aboase ejina ayaldo mikrom ejina denu e wona ma me free denu ejina eye den aboabo ejina santase ka se John Mahama bie na no ka se obetwa free SHS ma ye pe one audio na ye nyina ka se oh but until sa audio ni beba until say obi begina platform so aka say John Mahama kan wa ha evidence ni no makwase bie na no say NDC for say obetwa free SHS because I will share free SHS ni year NDC for from in Nkrumah time free SHS ediko ye share constitution mu ebedru inde no NDC for and Ashamukina. Now, there's a jandam we need to kill, and it's got to do with NPP4 some creative some impression say free SHS it's good. Obia ni home, and the awufo nyina support it. Inti obi obeka safa free SHS ubia empe Ghana ye. They are creating that notion, but you know, nipa omote Ghana na omo ye eto omo mutua to no omo bre NDC for can over and over said the free SHS no e Ghana constitution mu enita John Mahama ne NDC for Professor Nano Pukwa almost start to see e-blocks no enita almost start ABA more universities no almost call basic HC schools no. Now the NDC for can say yen santina sene yen free SHS ni biem na yen tutu nyoma se ne be ya yemma enkotena school bia nsuo nim enko school munya baby nda enko school 1 month emetena fie 3 months eduane sem ehonya enko atwe John Mahama ni NDC for say mama yen trust ne yen sanhwe na yen sakram yen yie NPP for omunte review any councillor say eno na san chichide meyi ese John Mahama say obetwa free SHS ende awofo no ankasa eka say e was a free SHS no ye yie nyoma nko yie sika essay teacher for complaining obia bre the simplest thing I say is say nyina yetena se na yebusa ye ho say ehi na atochema na yenye ne ye no because obi be see schools obia ba na say enko ye a yentena se MPP for enyan se omontiase mama yenkotie de awofo na eka me wi na ya ba free SHS a NPP for eka se NDC for parliament omon pese omobe pene so emeye de emra atareto
de no de na ye why you call first end de o na na ye let's say pa de until
the free SHS was good when it started at first, but it's burdensome now. I spent over 8,000 Ghana cedis to take my ward to school.
Well, furthermore, the budget credibility rate has shown fluctuations over the years. In the 2017-2018 academic year, expenditure exceeded the allocation by 20%. However, in the subsequent years, there's been a downward trend. 76% in 2019-2020, 58% in 2020-2021, and 51% in 2021-2022. These figures indicate a potential strain on the financial sustainability of the free SHS program. Amidst all of this, the policy is set to become another avenue for heavy political debate as government prepares to submit a bill to Parliament aimed at legalizing the policy. Already, accusations are being traded between the two major political parties. As to what becomes of this, time best will tell.
The Minister of Education will present the free SHS bill to Parliament. This free SHS bill, if we consider as a house, what that means is that it becomes mandatory for government to implement this. Unless it is repealed, no government would have the right to say, I am not going to enforce free SHS.
You see, NPP for biggest problem. So Omuyasa Akwawi majority leader. Let me be very honest with you people. Afinyama King had the biggest burden on MPP. His foolish, fake legal background in Ekutano, that legal exuberance, that idea be when it's him and say, So no argument no winia. At the end of the day, no, also be arguing so that is why the NPP is struggling. On say recently, after your market the catcher say free SHS no you say yedemra a tarreto. Send a bay amrano, a bind be a bar, a binding to me chum. And also down how catcher Ghana for say NDC for someone pay free SHS. Into a month per se yedemra tarreto. The same person. This is a man, you people in Ghana calling him honorable. Me, I can never use that word. Because there's nothing honorable about this guy. Now, what I'm going to catch him? I say he's a criminal. But now, how he called somebody to threaten the person because on a girlfriend, Nina Bema, Eden, Gebe, the court to Tunkoram, on Wakofa tax, Edia Conquara. So, after your marking, it's a bastard. I will not sit here and call that thing honorable person. There's nothing honorable about him. Obia, he became a known lawyer by defending Yahoo boys. For your market has no credibility. But to the issue itself, NPP for somebody be to Ghana for Timu say, de a bill be by parliament. Na sa bill no, and then a bema emra arbitrary the S free SHS no into NDC form per se bebaso. And I'm setting it on record again. Ghana Nibia knew about manya one audio ana BB free John Mahama, Professor Na say NDC 8 years say memayemfa emra and taredian free SHS nichi. In fact, Nipa oka yese memayemfa emra and tarry free SHS nichi na Bawumia. Bawumia said it on countless occasions on TV, and I know after forcing them, they have played the audio for you to hear. Bawumia can several times say, and this say a dim rabia a tariff free SHS a commitment in Kwani here. Into Eden and the NPP4 through a foolish man like Afenyo Markin. It will catch a Ghana for say, Omo de Emrabi ba abatari free SHS na NDC4 and support it into Omo time free SHS. A chair politician away Jimmy. A chair politician the hallmark atra Sebio or Jin Senipana Odio Musunomo Jiminti. He is just going to use lies. Now, Yatikroma Madebia Yaka from the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I'm copy, and I think I can pull it out. So I will check the Constitution of the Republic, and there's a reason why me person be reading this particular this particular law because me be Bob Bawumia Bawumia voice, no, but I was saying the reason why it's here. Bawumia voice no mebo and why the Bawumia no onim dia oye Mr. S. Mr. P pull the Constitution specifically where it talks on education. I want to point out some specific words. Now me point out words here. Okay, I got it. I have it. Now let's read this. Me we are na Bawumia tape natural. Na mamu Bawumia kasa krampo confirm say the NDC as a political party, no, they are rather going by the Constitution. Bawumia knows who, but on himself to do no DMPPH ne Jimmy. On himself majority of conform DMPPH no Jimmy. Into every time they are they sell the lies to them and they fool the people. Okay? Now let's read this document. This document is from the Constitution of Ghana. And what does it say when it comes to education? Straightforward. Now, baby, a yame pano. So already a year 25 I now. This is what it says. All persons shall have the right to equal education opportunities and facilities, and with a view of achieving the full realization of that right. B and A. Basic education shall be free, compulsory, and available to all. B. Secondary education in its different forms, including technical and vocational education, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means, and in particular by the progressive introduction of free education. By the progressive introduction of the free education. And this is what the Constitution says. So the Constitution can say free SHS no, I was but I was say progressively. And then I make Ghana mrakesi na ye nananom hyehyɛ to wo because omnom pese akorabia ko school but enye se akorabia ko school keke or say akorabia ko school me hu se school no fa so abaso. So you need quality with it, and it has to be progressive before you can get quality. So one hyehyɛ the year engine na so enti constitution ka say education there and obi all the right to go to school in Ghana. Nanso because yesika sem any ahoɔden wɔ community I was say ye ni kakra send be ya endum pempensuo bi no na akwara bi ko school a onka se insonkron so wi no every say onya classroom and onya dormitory and that akwara bi ko school ka se insio ni school e was 95 kilometers ekosansio I was akwara bi ko school a otumi nya balance diet di eduane padi inti constitution ka say it should be done progressively. Now tiade, let me show you something first. Muntie Mahamudu Bawumia he was making a statement about free SHS and he said the Emrabia etaro. And the MPP before the parliament because of politics, because omnibus and the MPP they are doing politics with your mind. Because on say you are come media near a bit more jimino on me support it atrono de mabedru how atro na motor cement 105 no atro na me bomutuo no atro na ma wodwuma egu no atmanye atro na me abobesia over 1 trillion. Dear me abedu nyina ya atro enti se ubeti atro na ahokyere babeda wo so no unim kura ka hompe be say the ama abedu na and the Ghana for mo hokyerem no it is all atro, it is all lies. Here tie Bawumia, and I have 2 videos I want to play. Now first one no asema Bawumia ekafa emra and he say yes editary free SHS on. It defeats every single thing the NPP is saying in Parliament today. Because Bawumia no krapa and the officer president no odinka catch the Ghana for say ye hiamra bia I was say yanka say ya adwene say ye be free SHS ni. This is Mahamadu Bawumia.
Senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody and we are making the budgetary provision for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. It doesn't have to be backed by law to be high school education doesn't for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. After all, there was law when we were not paying Get Fund. Wasn't there a law to make sure we paid Get Fund and we left it in arrears, or National Health Insurance Fund? But what is required is a commitment and a political will to make sure that the budgetary resources are made available to support it. And this is where Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's passion is for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. After all, there was law when we were not for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. After all, so there was law.
Where Bawumia kata na waka say free SHS in there. Enisi ade mrabia ko parliament. Ni akoshe mra say mra we chinchina o say free SHS. Una go na waka because they wanted to force you to believe say I didn't know about the sida, and they didn't want a law because not from the beginning, no, they were basically stealing from you in the name of free SHS. In this hard time, no, so what they ran about now they'll be forced to stay in line and tell us where they are getting their money from. Where is the money coming from to sustain the free SHS? I was bought TV3 for video chair, no. Now some screeners, no. Oh, graph readers, no. The amount of money I have pumping off free SHM from the beginning and the SOT. That is why Mahama catcher say you are in a rush because you cannot sustain it. You need to make sure you do it progressively. And also we are in kakra say sika nyina koguma ebedum rebi unya sika mfanye. Anytime we bought TV3 for video richer no. Now branch and catcher say sika share free SHM from 2017 no. Sika ne so sesia no sika nketen no omudi shem. Now, the more you put small money, the more the quality drops. And time na Ekufuado per power na okaso obe free SHS no akwesi broni busa say where are you going to get the funding? Because it's not just the funding, it's the consistent funding. It is the consistency in the funding, because when there is shortage in the funding, the quality will drop. Into broni busa Ekufuado say, where are you going to get the money? If you tell me you get money this year, it does not guarantee that next year you get money. You are going to be in power for 8 years. You are saying that this is supposed to be there forever and ever. How are you going to sustain it? You are living in a country where your GDP, how you are struggling to even meet your revenue. So how are you going to consistently fund the free SHS? And I'm going to answer that question. Answer about the man.
People, it seems to me, from reading a lot of stuff in the Ghanaian press, want to know is where exactly is the money going to come from next time around if you're in power for some of the very extravagant promises you've made. You, for example, have offered free secondary schooling for all Ghanaians. A promise you say you absolutely will deliver in 4 years in power. So have you costed it? How much will it cost?
The costing is being done. I mean, very, very soon we will be in a position.
You can't make a promise like
that. No. Very soon we're going to be putting it out.
You don't know how much.
I do know how much, but I prefer to tell the Ghanaian people directly before I tell you.
Many of them can't talk. You can tell me.
It doesn't matter. I would prefer to make that statement to the people of Ghana directly first, as to the cost. And any
so you do know the cost?
Oh, we do, and we have a very good idea how also we're going to finance it.
Have offered free secondary schooling for all Ghanaians. A promise you say you absolutely will deliver in 4 years in power. So have you costed it? How much will it cost?
The costing is being done. I mean, very, very soon we will be in a position.
You can't make a promise like that.
No. Very soon we're going to be putting it out.
You don't know how much.
I do know how much, but I prefer to tell the Ghanaian people directly before I tell you.
Many of them can't talk. You can tell me.
It doesn't matter. I would prefer to make that statement to the people of Ghana directly first, as to the cost. And any
so you do know the cost?
Oh, we do, and we have a very good idea how also we're going to finance it.
Well, you're obviously not going to give me the figures, but just tell me how you're going to pay for it. Because it's clearly going to be a very great cost. You've got to train the teachers, you've got to build new schools.
All of that has been adequately costed, and we believe that, first of all, the new revenues will help, more efficient management of what we have now, growth in the Ghanaian economy. These are the three sources which are going to enable us to fulfill that. The new revenues will help, more efficient management of what we have now, growth in the Ghanaian economy. These are the three sources which are going to enable us to fulfill that promise. And it's a promise that has been solemnly made.
I feel Bruni Busan said, free SHS, Luminous Kahin, why? Was my economy not saying? A crona say, Munisika, Moon generatisika, so the costing. And the Bruni said, Sir, maybe I'm just because so a main country or say, me catch the Ghana for no. And also, so what BBC so. Catch the as a Ghana for you also, me drew Ghana for no with Jimmy. The foolish masters no. A Jimmy for now, almost the tribe to Abano. And Quasia for no more power punch to Amano. Me drew a me catch them or Matias. Bruni said catch there because your honor beji loan. Or say the costing, I will tell you. You see, now, Bruni born pushing, he ended up by saying, oh, the new revenues. Where are the new revenues? Now, our catcher producer, I'm about to more taxes. Yentie, akwa with Jimmy, old to me to the mind. Your catcher will say, we know on am keke. You got it? And a Bruni pushing, or say, oh, the new revenues. What are the new revenues? Say, politician catcher will say new revenues are, or Charles say, or be creating new taxes. That is the only way you make revenue. You can only make revenue as a government when you create taxes, when you are taking money from the people. In the time now about power, no, now you say a burden was sustaining free SHS, or say or be jamo tour, and they be sustaining free SHS, no, or be creating new taxes. And all these new taxes are creating because the idea is not only any idea, only be creating money to sustain the country. And also Africa say more efficient way to sustain the economy. Now, I buy way and you say you can't leakages, waste, fiscal indiscipline. I went to me and manage BBR. I'm beto Esla. I'm beto Sika jo Mahama ja to funds no omedinina. Osaka Chebroni said growth in the economy. Ghana's economy growing, the dollar is at 16. Interest rate is over 20. We are talking about your economy that cannot employ. The economy is not growing. So when you check these three things he said, Nina negative. That is why the free SHS is collapsing. Nanka oyen progressively kakra. Anka this problem we are in about free SHS no anke ni ha. All the things he told the Brunino, all the three things he said, these were three things are a burden on the taxpayer. The first one is to create more revenues. Who is going to pay? It is the taxpayer. Because how much revenue do we make from importing or from exporting? We don't export and the cocoa, and fanco. That means the burden will be back on the parent. And internet will be spending 10,000 not in the back of free SHS every term. Why? Because Abino is failing the people. Now, the reason why I'm saying is that Bawumia is diabolic and a liar. Bawumia knows the constitution he has said progressively free SHS and then also see this. But you see, because Ohun is a Ghana for the BHG, so because you say Bawumia, Odim do ya. I am a catcher, Michelle Sabs, Bawumia a bodamaniti. Now, Bawumia and what he said about free SHS. All Casano or catcher Ghana for say, Tieno or see. Free SHS no more de bano, and yet to say NDC for progressively free SHS. Mickey Mouse the ano. What's it? That means Bawumia acknowledges. He knows to say free SHS in the constitution, it should be done progressively. But because you moved to do Jimmy, Sebio, Sankwasia for some Kwasia PhD, we just absorb it. He said it in public, said, the free SHS be ba now mom and to say NDC for Mickey Mouse. Progressively free SHS. That means he recognizes, say, the constitution, you are not supposed to go against the constitution. If you go by the constitution, the education that you are trying to put together, it will be effective. It's not winning no crano, but they deliberately decided not to do it because of some way, Jimmy. Here, Bawumia out. This is Mahama Bawumia.
Free senior high school education is the real deal. Not really some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody and we are making the budgetary provision for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It is some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education is the real deal. Not really some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody and we are making the budgetary provision for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. After all, there was law when we were not paying Get Fund. Wasn't there a law to make sure we paid Get Fund and we left it in arrears? Or
this was in 2017. It's only Papa now Jimmy or what will you say? On Tiasia. Why so dying? Papa now Jimmy. Moheno. Or to I can't say free SHS progressively and no mum no see a year. Now mum where Jimmy or catch us say the progressively free SHS not NDC the buy no. So he's acknowledging. But Bawumia catch them in 2017 said they came to meet a progressively free SHS. In the end and catch them some free SHS buy. Now kwasiatoa yen try the be mat to yes because with Jimmy on tie Bawumia Nipem 2017 catch Ghana for said they came to meet a progressively free SHS. Now NDC for implementing already. So why didn't they continue with the progressive free SHS? Because the constitution states it clearly that it should be progressively free. But ye Jimmy, all Kasana cannot in it, Yen China Bema, where Jimmy.
Free senior high school education is the real deal. Not really some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody and senior high school education is the real deal. Not really some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody. Senior high school education is the real deal, not really some Mickey Mouse progressive senior high school education that was in place before. We are covering everybody, and we are making the budgetary provision for it. Free senior high school education doesn't have to be backed by law to be funded. It just has to be backed by commitment. After all, there was law when we were not paying get funds.
So now, you see, Uncle Bottom with Jimmy, it's over here, headmaster. The thing was there. He is telling you right in front of you, say, free SHS, no, you better say NDC for a year. So why are you telling me today, say, a year and you could afford the free SHS, but you know, wait, Jimmy, none of the year. Teacher form to win free SHS started 2015, no money to ya. But Pessamim Kumiani Jimmy, and then Kwasia tribal politics in tea. Bawumia be Jimmy or Munina, and the one eble. Why neble? Now let's take care of business. Or to our body team called Jimmy. Talk Bella, you trying to Bama. Why say or chain and or Jimmy. Or Kasa or catch us or beto said your Mahama ye free SHS. Where Jimmy politics actually with Timuma. Talk Bella. Boto. But Munim na mofan ni mbra me na memfrɛ. Boto where Jimmy K Boto. But I first one became because Kevin no on the TV so okay can some e remeko antenna enti last week krasa kwansma ka so the meko antenna but asama banti esi aro so kwansma cho letter kwa antenna ho na antenna e koduru no we ya support the by anything no man free case no on be frame me kwansma case ai egigim de mo bete de licky soap so na me be ko ai licky soap say eye nyoma 1 to be amanye lucy de also no ne antenna enti e say me story bebre wa o say me ko. All right, now let's take care of eye den. What we came to discuss today has got to do with
Abusia for I think Komono YDBC han my fano Omampeni abedi achi Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia no someone kasa mani tuem Omampeni Mahmudu Bawumia abedi achi Mahmudu Bawumia mwan kasa na numu tom mwan kasa mate se enne nyame adom no kore no abipi se mwana ye free SHS ye ne de ba ye we see ye ne de ba we see ye ne de ba enne abeda hopefi se free SHS no it was started by the NDC led by John Dramani Mahama. We case closed. We should be a tape for all NDC members or all well-meaning Ghanaians. Se obi ko jina baabi ekoka se eye MPP for ND eye free SHS by and patcho mumbo no away mumbo na away na monsi no hu montwe saa eye tepi emmo enkyere no na ontie se Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia na oye flag bearer anase ben kan se na saa bri na oye Vice President of Ghana no ekura be confirm me say there was a free SHS done by John Dramani Mahama any Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman sanse sabri mu no na Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman na oye Minister for Education. Yes, na ono na oye Minister of Education. Enti na penso na oye free SHS no to obi biara obi ditro adi kotompo aboni sirim abe propaganda obabi say MPP amanyuku na di free SHS by mo si ni hu entro no wadi oboa onim ni owoka de bia me kase Mahama nyankopon no kakra na opa na tamfo ehu entoma boni a omo yedi tia no entro a yedi gu no so ni nyina na nyame enam ni nyansam dware no hohoro no ho mane da ne fita just or vindicate papa no me kai say sa issue yi eba eye Kwame Sefa kan program so na sa da no me tie program no in fact se me nsu se me tam me radio no boho se me ko pizza from who na se me nya den you me say aden di Kwame Sefa kan ba bia sebe wa bedui wa bobra bedui nti sa no kure we utimi bio anoka no kure say oh free SHS na die Omampini John Dramani Mahama ne started na o started ye no ena kakra eduru baabi ena fofianto ata ena olusu election ena omampini Akufo-Addo ebeto aso ena on the obie mu enti utimi kasa na ayeden like I was asking myself say Sefa kind to me kasa asem na die ni be sinti no na at once na no ni Sefa kind ni a Jeffrey ni nsam ana adenti na sa no kro untimi nka wo bra discerning Ghanaians are listening and we are all in this country, we're all in this country and witness Mahama FN saying starting free SHS yin na ye ni tuem anti adenti na wo ma wo program kese we na wo pese wo di tro kese sei Ghana fo medwene ho amante ase sa ena eye obi o Asempa FM oni oman hene Kobna Sante omososo ekoye analysis bi so omo no be ye omo ne baba ye final saying omo final analysis on free SHS and the fahin kusi hin omo so de bebiti around the bush sa ni omo kawie ya kusi se Akufo-Addo and the free SHS by o was saying kusi saying Jumadi so Asempa FM. I was so angry. Nti media for asem yo mu okrom ha de mpa na ehamo anti de bia mo de mo ba no mo be ditro na chese de bia I don't know so bi na tua mo kaw se de benyo de na munya free sa de nim obra no kore da ho na mo twist no kore no by force mo twist no de na ekoso obusiafo enne ameno mo kasei no kreno abedadi obi entumi nsanko gina baabi enkodi san nyamana asam no omo ye ya ha mo fangugu mo WhatsApp so mo phone so eye ya na wa WhatsApp na wo de amanipa na eye ya na wa wo so no upload ohun so bi de to Facebook na wo de sa video no e de ato ne comment ne post na se sharp no mo ohun no kreno Ghana fo nyina ohun no kreno. So free SHS was started by John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. Yes. I was a sad dawruwi. Ya bo emani duru Ghana afanai ni na so. I was here bo mani duru. Koskrofu e dintra check sana. Eye ile vidia na so eba yo. Ewi akire na o mampenyi na ba di akire mamudu bam atene ni ayira atese say wana Kevin Taylor ko twin video yi ba ya na papa eti Joy News a Joy FM oto okasa ono de enye nyansa enye nimde so aban bi beka so or taxi mobile money for o say and they wrong enya de papa because nipa na nisika or wanya no de atoso enti na koba ne say aban bi ka say or taxi or more na nyansa bi anim enso ko wi akiri a omoko pass 11 no na watwa no ho akosho mu ama cake no krom ku twae no 11 cake na ono Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kwa na chese o kat cake no mesi nyankopon a odi Mahama chi no oso nyankopon odi Mahama chi no oso na me de afutu a me de be manipa bia na se di nokure akyi fa akoma pa edi nokure akyi na Nyankopɔn obeba besan wudi sa wodi akoma pa akoma mu fitaa edi nokure akyi a wiase nyinaa ebesore etiawo ebeba bedu babi obia beka se ebia wo no chese wan hwe akwa obedwen se wiase nyinaa ba na wiye but one day God will glorify you. He will vindicate you. He will shame your enemies. The same people who crucified you will come back and hail you. Yes. It dinukurachi. Man di wefu echi. Endi nipa do echi. Dinukure echi. Mimi hun se nokure any akoma pa no man penyini Mahama ewode ma oman yi no eno na ne a vindicate na wiase nyina ehu dia ekọ no atro a omu twagu no so ntaria ye pam de hye no enne nyame awuro ni nyinara ahye na tafofoforo ama ne wadane abode foforo enne omu nyina omu dwene ho omonte ase nokure eye han nokure kanea nokure etumima onipa ye odehye eno ena ne ama omanpanyi John Dramani Mahama ne ho ate sedia yinyina ye hunu no aha PENDREAM TV meso say obe subscribe to the channel na wa like video no edi amayen o like we a pacho wo adwenkyere bi so na wo de to comment session no ase edi amame pacho yo social media platforms no nyina so baby abeko bia PENDREAM TV oba Facebook a PENDREAM TV Ghana PENDREAM TV edamu yopo.
Ooh, baby,
God have mercy upon us.
I do you. Ooh, baby. If you give me thousands of Ghana cards and $1, I will choose the dollar.
Hey, Mumu, campaign at Tokyo. It is smart people.
Oh, baby, Oni kwa kutia, mu baby, Odoye, mu baby, Oni kwa kutia no, mu baby, Odo,
Working track, yeah. Working track, yeah.
Kanu cry, Otrofo, Odo, you want me to do more? Kwakra fair so besu winning. Yes, we are dear bro, better so. Shame on you. Abaya the bot touchy, yeah, the baby bot band baby. Sana will be Miami. You can lie your way to power. You can do all propaganda. Dollar rate will expose you.
The dollar has broken jail.
You are pathological liar. You lie for living. Lies are your hobby. Google and Wikipedia recognize you as a liar. Your talent is to lie. You promised me heaven and earth. You promised me the whole universe. None of them has been fulfilled. You said if I give you power, I will live like in heaven. Look at the way I'm suffering. Walk on him. What do you trouble on mine?
What trouble my own?
Oh, my for 40 so. Oda,
Working track, yeah, yeah.
Oda,
Working track, yeah, yeah.
Kano cry, Otrofo, Oda, you want me to say more? I have something to tell you. Sit down and cast your mind back. You see how you destroyed yourself. People see you as a joker. They see you as comedian. People see you like Mr. Ibu. They see you like Lewin. So Dr. Lice, change your ways. As someone make an watiana. Dr. Lice, change your ways. So your judgment day is coming. Watiana, futua medema uno. Watiana, sisa wakwane bebuawo. Watiana, enya uhosa uyo nyansafuo. Kwa kutiana ubro na wampa wasam. Ode oye na juma keke mido. Makasa yue owa swatiemi.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.